Hello, world. This is Director Marlon Green here, also the Army Airborne veteran. I want to say good morning, and today is March 30th, 2017. I just want to say shouts out to the global community out there. We're in this together. We want to look forward to a prosperous future. We suggest on nuclear issues, we try to reduce nuclear arsenals as much as possible and dispose of. I suggest we embrace as many clean air technologies as we can. Also, we have to start preparing for global warming and rising seawaters. What we can do for the rising seawater is drop all construction debris from all across the United States and start dropping it along the coastlines. And what that'll do is that'll combat the rising seas as we try to stabilize the Earth's temperature, in particular the poles. The poles are the most vulnerable. We have the ozone layer that's open, and we have a lot of other things. We want to suggest that the government and the world leaders out there refrain from using HARP technology, the radio frequency device that bends the jet stream and affects the moisture and humidity of the upper atmosphere, which can be used to manipulate the weather. We want to let everyone know we really don't want you to manipulate the weather. What you can do is reduce carbon emissions and reduce pollutants that's in the air. And so we African Americans, we Americans, we are on a global stage now. You can't just blow us off. We need our colored women to pick up the pace. Don't accept any loans from any foreign governors without or foreign governments without your family or husbands are included, because that leads to exploitation. And the strategy is today is to spoil the women. Once the women get more money than the men, nothing is going to get done, and your country is just going to plummet into chaos like the United States is. I'm not saying that's all of the problem, but that's some of the problem. They have other things going on. Also, you white folks all over the world that exploited Africa, that exploited North America, South America, its agents, your time is up exploiting the world. And if you think that you're going to fit in the global community destroying other cultures at their expense, you have another thought coming. The blacks and dark-skinned people are not the scourge of the earth. Some of them are, but not most of us are not. And we are the chosen people to lead the world again, but we're not trying to take over. We're trying to do it culturally, because that's how everything starts off, for the better culturally. We're trying to eliminate all of these negative stereotypes and these people that come on television calling other people Nazis when they're the Nazis themselves, and other people calling themselves the chosen people and they are not the chosen people. And people like the Jehovah's Witness calling themselves Christians, they are not Christians. And just basic real stuff like that. I'm not going to come on giving you advice that I haven't mastered myself. The world has gotten into this groupie attitude to where you have to make so much, you have to have so many friends to make a difference. Well, I'm an International Photography Society member, Hall of Fame member since 2008. I helped billionaire Jerry Jones get in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm trying to get Mr. Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, also. I've got head coach Byron Scott. I've campaigned a successful campaign to get him head coach for the New Orleans NBA, what was then the Hornets. And I was instrumental in getting NBA player Anthony Davis and Coach Alvin Gentry back into New Orleans on the coaching level, because that's what we need. We go into slumps, ups and downs. I've helped people develop their projects and help get people on the educational board in local, state, and a lot of other things. But this isn't about me. I'm bringing a new skill set to the global community. We're reconnecting our roots back to Africa, and we don't expect to get started a war just because we don't include you in the economic agenda. If it wasn't for me in particular, we'll be at nuclear war, and the Afghanistan situation, the United States just cannot flip the bill. It's already been 9, 10, or whatever years, however many years, we cannot keep that. The global community that wants to keep that in place, they should flip the bill. They should spend their resources. They should spill their own blood. In particular, we have at least 3 nations that work together against us, and if we're going to show favoritism, we're going to lose anyway. You're not going to win a war just by getting bigger and bigger arsenal, and you can't win culturally or economically. All you're going to do is destroy the planet and blame other people. Look, blame yourself. Before you step on the global arena, make sure that your situation is solid, because a lot of people's situation is not solid, and they're puppets for other people, and they don't know what they're doing. And also, if you're going to take and borrow some people's idea, why don't you use the works cited, or why don't you say or use the model of the person that's pioneered, and not borrow their idea and use it as your own and then mess it up, and then you're looking for another idea where you shouldn't be looking for it. Just give the people props. If you got to pay them a little something, pay them a little something. But the people that you've been paying the last decade, they've been paid already. We don't support them, and they're trying to force their stay in. We don't want them in our agenda, economic agenda no more. They know who they are. We don't have to keep saying their names. We want to ask you all to respect African and African Americans, because we're not the scourge of the earth. We don't go around starting wars all the time. And we're not trying to be in charge of the planet, but you're not going to dictate us and keep controlling our population and keep making excuses for your racism. And every time you need something done, you strike colored people, and we're not the problem. We have some problems, but let us fix our own problems. But in particular, the United States, we're in an abusive relationship because people are fed up with people like the deep state, the KKK, and the special interest group. People are fed up with it. And you're not going to be able to bribe anyone, and stop spoiling African Americans, stop spoiling Africans, and stop trying to spoil Indian and Hindu cultures, because that's how it all starts. Once the women get power, everything goes out of control. And let me tell you something, women. If you're a woman, you're naturally supposed to love and accept love. If you don't want to do that and you are in the man's arena, you have to play by the man's rules. Also, there are a lot of good guys out there. There are a lot of good Mr. Moms. That doesn't mean that we're gay. Mr. Moms mean that we are capable of taking care of the kids of ourselves. We don't want to hear any special interest about any gays, because they don't hold any responsibilities, and they have not done anything in the global community to warrant special treatment. I'm a veteran. I haven't gotten paid. I have an honorable discharge. I'm a Hall of Famer. They get treated better than me. They can come in our churches and tell us what they're going to do, even though it's against our protocol to make us abandon him. We're not obligated to make you feel better. And to the presidents of the world, you all can cut some funds to us. We African Americans deserve some reparations, because you made billions and trillions off of us. And while our African American and American women act like hoes pleasing you, you're going to put all the pressure on me to explain to the world what you all did. Why do we have to explain to what you all did? Because if I explain this to the African American woman myself, all they're going to do is shut down and blame me. They're going to blame me for y'all mistakes, because you don't have what it takes to explain to what you did, and you're living in shame, and you'll strike me before you reach your own reality. Those days are over. I ran a lot of people out of the media with those hypocrisies, and they belong to hate group. We're going to start engaging you. We don't have anything against anyone in person, but you're not going to be coming around us bringing the KKK and bringing white supremacists around us, marching with us, and they attacking us. President Obama is a contradictory leader, and you all followed President Obama blindly. You followed Clinton's blindly. You followed Bush blindly. I'm a better leader than all of those. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you have the power. They've been teaching you all marijuana is poison. Marijuana is bad. Marijuana is a medicine proven to work. Food, fertilizer, textile. The Queen of England doesn't want it like that. She's wanted for child trafficking charges. Clinton is involved in child trafficking charges. Many of the officials all across the world that are involved with policing or in child trafficking charges, and y'all bitches know this, and you won't confront your husband because they're too fucking busy spoiling you. And at the same time, this very world that I contribute to, I can't get a fucking thing, and y'all turn around spoiling other people, and I sacrifice more. Those days are over also. Y'all gonna have to do a better job respecting us, because real recognize real. And just because you have a problem doesn't mean that other people's problem is not as important as yours, and you keep going over and over and getting treated favoritism. Though those who don't like or support us with reparations, fuck you. Because when you down on your ass, y'all begging us for our tax money. You can't even celebrate Black History Month without some fucking terrorist attack or some Holocaust or some KK shit or some breaking up headstones. There's always some shit that y'all starting, and there's always some peril that you all don't know about. Y'all got to get this shit together, man. And that's just the bottom line. There's too many excuses.